This video is going to go over unit circle practice in the vocabulary sine, cosine, positive angles, positive radians, negative angles, and negative degrees. The first thing you want to do is fill in your unit circle. Try doing this without me and then check back in just a second. Did you get them right? Now go fill in your radians. Put your radians in your rectangle. Remember, there are 2 pi all the way around, and remember our trick, 6, 4, 3, 6, 4, 3, 1 pi, 1 less, 1 more, 5 days a week, we go to 7, 11. All right, pause it again, try it, and then check back. Okay, let's check and see how you did. Remember, it goes 6, 4, 3, 6, 4, 3. These are all 1 pi. 2 is 1 less than 3, 3 is 1 less than 4, 5 is 1 less than 6. Over here we're going to be 1 more than, 7 is 1 more than 6, 5 is 1 more than 4, 4 is 1 more than 3. Over here in quadrant 4, we remember that we go 5 days a week to the 7, 11. Okay, so we've done degrees and we've done radians. Now we have to go fill in our ordered pairs. Remember before you fill them in that your radius is equal to 1. Because my r equals 1, we should be able to do the 4 points at the left, right, up, and down. And then we're going to remember our left-hand trick for getting the other coordinates. Pause the video and check back in just a second. Okay, check your quadrant 1. All you have left to do is fill in the other 3 quadrants. Remember just to reflect over the y and then reflect over the x. In quadrant 2, your x's will be negative, but your y's will be positive. In quadrant 3, they're both going to be negative. And in quadrant 4, my x's will be positive and my y's will be negative. All right, pause the video again. See if you can get them right. All right, check your answers. So don't forget, on your test on the 27th, you're going to need to know how to make this whole unit circle on your own before you walk in the door, so that you can answer the questions that are at the bottom of the paper. So let's go look at the bottom of the paper. On the bottom it says use the completed unit circle to give the value of each of the following. And every single one of these problems down here is asking about either sine or cosine. So before we start, we need to know what those mean. As you're working through the worksheet, every time you see cosine, I want you to think x. And every time you see sine, I want you to think the y value. So I'm just going to do a few of these, not all of these, just to make sure we're all on the same page. So we'll start off with number 1. Number 1 says to find sine of 120 degrees. So the first thing I have to remember is that sine is my y, and then I go find 120 degrees on my circle, which is right here, and I want the y value. Well, x is negative 1/2, and y is positive square root of 3 over 2. So my answer for sine of 120 is positive square root of 3 over 2. Okay, so let's go do a cosine now. So let's go jump to number 3. Cosine means x, and they want me to go to pi. Well, pi is the same as 180 degrees, which is half of my circle. They want the x value, so they want negative 1. Okay, easy enough. Now let's go look at one of the ones towards the bottom, one of the ones that says negative. Let's go check out number 20. So number 20 says cosine of negative pi over 3. Cosine of negative pi over 3. Well, cosine means x, and we learned earlier this week that if you have a negative radian or negative angle, it means instead of going counterclockwise, we're going to go clockwise. So let's come back and look at our circle. Positive pi over 3 is located 1, 2, 3 above the 0. So negative pi over 3 is going to be located 1, 2, 3 below the 0. So when they ask me about negative pi over 3, they're really just asking me another way to say 5 pi over 3. At 5 pi over 3, they want to know cosine. Remember, cosine means x. So what is my x value at 5 pi over 3? My x value is positive 1/2. So on number 20, my x value that I'm going to write down is positive 1/2. Remember, this negative sign just tells you the direction. It doesn't tell you whether my answer is going to be positive or negative. Let's go do another one of these. Let's go do a sine. So let's go do 21. Remember, sine means y. and they want sine of negative 270 degrees. So we have to go back up to the top and look at our picture. Positive 270 is way over here. So I need to know where negative 270 would be. So I'm going to use the count method just so you can see it. So from the 0, I'm going to go count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm 12 away from 0. Now I'm going to go count the opposite way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So negative 270 degrees is equivalent or the same as 90 degrees. And they wanted me to find sine of negative 270. So what is the y value at negative 270? The y value at negative 270 is 1. So the answer here is 1. I hope that helped. If you have any questions, please bring them to class tomorrow.